Peace, friends. I'm Pastor Tom Arthur from Sycamore Creek Church in Lansing, Michigan. Whether you experience sheltering in place as positive or negative, we can all shelter in God's grace daily. Psalm 91 says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Our Daily Shelter is a live video podcast where we interview an expert in one area or topic related to COVID-19 and sheltering in place, so that we can find God's grace for today. We cover a range of topics from science to government and theology to prayer. We're looking to find God's grace in each area of our lives. So let's shelter in God's grace together right now. Before this whole pandemic hit, on that week that the shelter-in-place order went in, I was scheduled to have my hair cut, and it hasn't been cut for 3 months. I don't know about you, but I was tempted to buzz it off the other day. COVID-19 and the restrictions have some of us cutting our own hair. And really, we've all learned a little bit of what barbers and salon owners have already known, is that cutting your hair is a pretty intimate activity. So what's the state of getting our hair cut? Is it time to do it on our own, or should we wait? Today, I'm thankful to have on our Daily Shelter Matthew Ryan Clouse. Matthew's the owner of the gorgeous Matthew Ryan Salon in Old Town, and he's been attending Sycamore Creek for a year or so now, sharing his voice with our band, as well as his wisdom on being gay and being a married Christian. And we are grateful so much today for you, Matthew, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, before we get to the topic of cutting hair, your hair looks really good, by the way. I know, when you first got on, you said to me, your hair is really long. Before we get to that, what's it been like personally for you? You had to shut your salon down and hunker down in your house. What's that been like? And have there been places where you've encountered God's grace through it?
Absolutely. Like everyone watching and everyone that is experiencing the pandemic, which is globally, every day is different. Some days you feel, confident that, you're okay. And we're all experiencing a range of emotions in one day. And that changes, every day. So yeah, there's some highs and lows. We're in a place that we've never really felt like we've been so out of control. Most of our lives are planned and we know exactly what's happening, and we just seem to have a sense of control. And God's really put us in a place to show us, there are just things that are completely out of our control.
Yeah.
So.
It's just striking me, you live in the same neighborhood as where there have been a lot of marches into, and have you seen that, or has that been what's that been like?
Yeah, it's been interesting. We've had quite a few, protests and things that come through the neighborhood. Mostly they're at the Capitol, but because the governor's right down the street, we definitely have had, our share of visitors.
Share of visitors.
Yes.
That sounds like a very polite way of saying it.
Yes.
Yeah. Have there been any particular moments of God's grace in your life through this sort of up and down roller coaster ride?
I feel like all of us purposefully want to get through this and walk away with something that we feel like that was worth it. God really showed me this, or something that we can really walk away with, So for me, I've a few things, I kind of want to feel like I'm accomplishing something. So I got on the piano, and I've been kind of doing that on the regular basis. I've always sang, but I've really kind of wanted to accompany myself a little bit more. So I've kind of put my hand to that. But yeah, I think that we shouldn't put too much pressure on ourselves to take over the world in a state of, what we're going through with this pandemic. But I certainly have experienced moments of grace.
Jeremy, I think Matthew just signed up to play keyboard for the band.
I don't know about all that, but maybe.
you've only sing but not play before until this quarantine thing. And all of a sudden, you've been learning the keyboard there.
Yeah.
And been see that. You're on the cutting edge, no pun intended, of this whole salon thing. You own a salon. I think you're even active in, what is it, like the Salon Association that's been consulting with the governor about when salons should open.
You know,
What do we need to know about salons opening and barbers on June 15th?
you know, there's been a lot of work done in other states as far as a reopening plan. And I was invited to take part in our reopening plan for the state of Michigan for the salons. And that was a positive thing. And with the group, we really didn't want to reinvent the wheel from the work that has already been done with the reopening plan, but tweak it a little bit. And so, yeah, you know, it's going to look a lot like, you know, when you go to the grocery store, but a little different, right? Because we're touching you. But our industry's always had a really good guideline for sanitation in the salon. So everyone will wear a mask when they come. There's 6-foot distancing. You know, they're going to wash their hands when they get there. And the same with stylists, washing their hands in between every task. So yeah, again, it looks a lot similar as other salons in states that have, you know, already implemented, and they've seemed to really be successful with it.
There's not like a plexiglass that the person's going to sit behind or stand behind and reach around.
No. In fact, we're going to wear masks if we're in your face. We do have shields as well.
Okay.
So we'll have the mask and we'll have a shield on. If we're, you know, right with some of our estheticians and things, they're doing lashes and waxing, and they have to be right there. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely an option if we're that close.
Right before this all hit, I remember talking to you and I was saying, has your salon, I mean, this was like right at the very beginning of this 3 months ago. And everybody's like reeling, like, do we need to shut down? Does the church need to not meet? And I remember talking to you and you said to me, you know, nope, people are like, this is the last thing that they cancel is their salon or haircut appointment. Yeah. Are people already scheduled? Like, is there a big rush to get back in?
We are getting there. Oh my gosh, you know, 3 months without a haircut, most people, it's a state of emergency, right? So yeah, that's probably our biggest challenge right now, honestly, is that we would love to get everyone in the first week, but it's 3 months of appointments that have to be scheduled. And that doesn't include other people that were not on the books too. So we have our challenge ahead of us for sure, getting everyone in. So we definitely ask for all the patience. I know that it's been a long time. So if we could all work y'all in at the same day, we would definitely do that, but we're doing our best. You know, people are missing the community part of it too. You know, we have good relationships with our clients. They look forward to their appointments. You know, we're like the therapists, of course. We're not paid all that, but
you can't submit your haircut to your insurance agency.
Unfortunately not. So yeah, there's that part of it that's missing too, is the relationships that we all have. And
it's not just a physically intimate thing. I mean, if you're having a lot of work done, you're sitting there talking to whoever's working on you for a long time.
They tell us all kinds of things, Tom. We hear it all.
Are you saying that you're a pastor too?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would believe that. And yeah, whether they call you a pastor or not, I'm sure that's the spirit that you interact with your folks with.
Yeah.
All right. So when things open up, you know, there's going to be a log jam. It sounds like. I mean, it sounds like, at least for you, there's a log jam potentially of scheduling. Yeah. But so if you can't get through that, and you still want, like, so there's really two reasons why you're not going to go right back. Either you're going to be uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
Just like when the church holds its first worship service, not everybody's going to come back to that.
Okay.
And some people will. But the second for you is a scheduling issue. So for those of us who are not either ready to get back or we can't get on the schedule for our favorite salon or barber, what do we do with these mops that
You
are
gotta
out
love
there?
them.
I mean, like I got serious curls going in the back here.
You've got some good hair, Tom. Great hair. You know, you got to just get through it. What I would say is get a really good regimen. Obviously, some like good face, or I'm sorry, not face, but some treatments, some hair masks and things. It'd be a great time to invest in some good hair products, because obviously you're not getting those ends trimmed. So, to prevent split ends and things like that. But I think it's a good time to invest into some good products. Pull your hair back when if you're not ready to come back to the salon, you just got to make do. We've made do for 3 months. So
mine is almost long enough to pull back. I think I can get just about a man bun back here. But then I got these these old man things going on the side.
I think you should grow it. That'd be nice.
You think I should grow it?
I do. You've got good hair.
How long?
I'll let you know.
You'll let me know?
Yeah.
Okay. I've had several people tell me that I'm one of the few men that they know that changes their haircut. Jeremy's had maybe 2 haircuts and 2 hairstyles in the 10 years that I've known him. But Jeremy, how many hairstyles have I had in the 10 years that you've known me? Hey, producer, you got to unmute yourself. That was a.
You had a half dozen or more, maybe 10 different kinds.
Yeah. I figure it's hair.
You've got good hair though, Tom. Not everyone can do that. You've got such good hair, nice thick hair.
Thank you.
I started thinning in my 20s, and so yeah, I try to make it look like I have a little bit up there. So
yeah, we're talking with my my high school buddies next week. We're doing an episode with reconnecting with old friends. And several of them have commented how my hair has survived middle age better than many of them. So,
yeah.
Well, friends, maybe you want to ask your hair questions or your salon questions to Matthew. Jeremy, our producer, is paying attention to those questions in the comments section here on Zoom, the chat, the Q&A, or on Facebook in the comments. And he will bring those questions to Matthew in just a little bit, or he'll come up with his own questions that he wants to ask Matthew. Matthew, one of the things that I wanted to just touch base on is what it's been like for the gay community during sheltering in place. That's not been the headlines, but right before all of this was supposed to happen in the United Methodist Church, we were getting ready to split over this issue of human sexuality, and that got postponed a year. I had the bishop on last week to talk about what that's like. So that, that used to be headline news, and now it's kind of buried under the pandemic. Are there other headlines or things that we need to know about how the gay community, unique challenges, or how they're doing through this whole pandemic?
Shockingly, it's much like most of you straight couples, right? This week we ordered 12 yards of mulch, and my husband gently reminded me that I should have our landscaper spread that and not myself.
How many yards?
12.
12 yards?
12 yards. And
that's like a whole dump truck, isn't it?
It's insane. And I don't know. I thought I could do it, and then it's got 90 degrees, and I almost had a heat stroke, so that didn't go well. So
you haven't been able to get to the gym, so you might as well shovel mulch.
Right. I did for a while. I put a dent in it, but yeah, we're all experiencing the same things. Straight, gay, what have you. My concern is with kids, and young people that may be closeted or may not be embraced by their families.
Okay.
They're stuck, they might be in situations that they're in private pain. And, they're holding secrets, right? Because they know that their family or their parents can't handle that. I know what it was like being, in a in a home that you just don't feel like you can share that part, right? And it's true, it's not celebrated. So there's a lot of kids that are stuck at home right now in quarantine, and I'm sure that there's struggle there, and maybe even abuse, right? There's a lot of gay young kids and teenagers that are probably not in the best situations right now in quarantine.
That's really helpful to remind us of that. We had Tajmika Firecracker Turuk on of the Firecracker Foundation to talk about when sheltering in place is not a safe, when your place is not safe or your shelter is not safe. And I hadn't thought about that sort of subset of gay teenagers or kids who perhaps their home is not safe for them.
Yeah.
Are there ways that you think that we could support? I mean, of course, perhaps some are out and some are not out. Are there ways that you think we could support, or the ways that just the average person could support someone in that situation?
Well, I think words of encouragement, you know, and if there's any kids or teenagers watching, I encourage you. It may not get better soon, but it will get better at some point. I acknowledge your fight. I acknowledge the pain that you're probably experiencing, but one day it will be better. And I do hope that that's the common thing, that we can speak to these kids that don't have a say in where they sleep, right? And where they shelter. But they do need to be acknowledged and know that there's a, you know, God has a good future for them. And that they'll make it okay.
Yeah. Acknowledgement, encouragement.
Yeah.
Matthew, I love, like, this is one of the things that I deeply appreciated about you. I've only known you for about a year, but your pastoral heart for people, all people, but especially the gay community and gay folks, and that they would know Jesus and be given resources by the church to be fully discipled as followers of Jesus, both gay and Christian. Yeah. It's challenged me to be better at that myself. And I just heard that in just as you were, you know, you're speaking to a camera, but you're really like being a pastor to teenagers and kids in that moment. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jeremy, you've been paying attention to the comments or the questions, or maybe you got something you want to pitch at Matthew yourself.
Matthew, thank you for joining us today. You know, one of the things I deeply appreciate about you, Matthew, is you're an advocate. You advocate for your vocation, for your business, and all salons, but you also advocate for those who aren't included, and you're helping create an inclusive community where we all get to live in, but especially at Sycamore Creek. And that's something that's pretty special. I value that a lot. The inquiring minds want to know, who the hell cuts your hair? And do you cut Mark's hair? We need to know these. We need to know this.
Well, one would think that I would be able to cut my own hair, which I attempt it a lot, but it's not that easy, honestly. So, you know, we can get what we can see, but and my staff will say that there's been several times that it did not go well at all, but I don't see back there. So, you know, there's that.
Just don't turn around to the camera.
Just don't turn around.
Don't turn
around. You know, yeah, of course. Yeah. Mark has got it made here, so he's good.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a call from the governor's husband asking if you can come down and cut his hair?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, Matthew, another question.
Yes.
Break down your clientele for us, for those of us who haven't been to Matthew Ryan Salon. Is most of your clients female? Are they male? How does that work? And how easy or difficult is it for us to book an appointment without any knowledge of who your stylists are?
You know, our clientele is very, very diverse. We do all kinds of people, but obviously the majority women with cut and color and things like that. But we have men, you know, and we've got, you know, from state workers to anybody, right? That's what I do love about the salon, is that we do have such a diverse clientele. And yeah, I mean, it's a real good group of people, you know. It's you're going to be put in the right hands, whoever you see. the people that answer the phone, if you call to book an appointment, we can kind of guide you where you should go.
Matthew, thank you so much for talking to us today about salons. We've come to the segment on our podcast that we like to call Co-Video Conversations. It's where Jeremy shows us a video. I don't know where he finds these things, and I don't actually see them until this very moment. But we unleash him. We let him out of his cage. He shows us this video, and hopefully we enjoy watching it. All right. So how do you want to set it up, Jeremy?
Well, Matthew, you had said earlier that living that close to the governor, you've had visitors to the neighborhood.
Yes.
Well, imagine this scenario when it's your next door neighbor. Roll the film. Let's see it. So this is just your normal neighborhood, right? Car whizzes. Whoopsie daisies. I'd be so pissed off if that happened, whether you're a neighbor or a visitor.
I did a good job on that.
Oh, wow. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm coming to say hi to you.
Oh, she's really gracious. In that.
Yeah, he was just.
Oh, wow.
He was just saying hi. He said, "Tom, you can advance it."
I've done that same thing.
What?
I've done that same thing. I was in a client's, I went to a client's house and they had the big brick ones, the big brick mailboxes, and I toppled the entire thing over, and it was like 5-6 feet tall.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh yeah, I toppled the whole thing over. And how do you, like, where do you go from there? It's like, I'll pay for it. Like,
That's
yeah.
so awkward.
What was funny about that? Like that thing just went boom. Like it almost like looked. It was like it had been set up in a movie somehow to like fall over like that.
she was so gracious.
She was very good.
Oh my gosh, I would have said, oh, that I would have been so pissed off. I would have masked it a little bit, but ooh, you would have known I would have been irritated by that.
So Matthew actually had this happen. Jeremy, when have you hit something that was sort of embarrassing?
You know, I've only been in one car accident. It's here in East Lansing where it was raining like it is currently. It's a downpour here in the Lansing area. And kind of hydroplaned down a grade and nudged the bumper in front of me. It was there was definitely impact, but there wasn't any damage. And I was in college and I got out and there was like a chain reaction. I hit the car and then the car hit the car. We all three got out and I was just basically pleading like, there's no damage. Let's just move on. And they're like, I left the scene of an accident, but under the assumption that we were all okay with it, that there was no damage.
I was the youth minister at Bayview Association up in Petoskey for 3 summers. And my first summer there, I was backing out of a parking spot and I just went a little too far and backed into a minivan. And I was like, oh man, this is like the hired minister, youth minister doing this. And
you mean like a church van?
No, it was like somebody's personal minivan.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I was like, oh, I couldn't really see like that there was anything that I had done. And I was like, should I leave a note? And yeah. And so I decided, no, I gotta leave a note. So I left a note. The person called me. They said, hey, there was a dent. Thank you for leaving the note. Our minivan was 3 days old.
Yeah, I saw a viral video the other day where someone hit someone's car and instead of on the note saying, here's my contact information, they decimated the front of the vehicle. They said, I can't afford repairs, so here's a pack of Skittles. And they literally put Skittles on the car. I mean, you wonder if that was made up or not, but I thought it was pretty funny.
I wonder if those sort of things have gone down in quarantine. Because like we actually just put one of our cars, we took the insurance off and like made it like the storage insurance where it's like just $60 a year. And so we've driven so much less. I wonder if car accidents have gone down.
They had to have, right?
They had to have, yeah. We're just not out on the road as much.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew, how can people keep up with you?
MatthewRyanSalon.com. We are on Instagram. Don't ask me what that IG is. You can find it. Matthew Ryan Salon, I think. Yeah, that's that. Usually, yeah, we're pretty. We've got a pretty strong social media presence. So yeah,
Matthew, tell us when are you officially opening? People are asking.
Monday.
Monday. So the
Yeah.
date would be is that the 15th?
That is. So right now, there's not someone that's at the phones. So please leave a message. We're answering those messages and getting back to you as we can. So please don't hesitate to, or you can email us, MatthewRyanSalon@gmail. With any questions, in need of appointments, whatever, that works.
You all do like these amazing, I don't know, are they Christmas like photo shoots with all of your stylists? Like that was the picture that we used to advertise this. Is that something you do every holiday season?
It is, yeah. We like to kind of treat we have a salon Christmas party we like to call the red carpet. Just for it's fun to get dressed up and celebrate as a salon team, and we like to do an annual Christmas photo every year.
All right.
Well, Tom and I want in on that party. I mean,
I was going to offer to be chaplain.
Yeah, I'll sweep hair all day long to be at that party.
Listen, I've invited both of you guys to my party, so
You have, and I will make it.
I know you have. Yeah. I need like a 6-month runway to get it on my schedule. It's crazy sometimes.
I believe you.
Tom, there's your 6 month in. You got 6 months. Put it in there.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you so much for those invites. How can people be in prayer for you right now?
Keep the staff in your prayers. For a lot of people that are going back to their jobs, it kind of feels like the first day of school, right? I told my staff, you're going to have to teach me how to do my job, right? We're out of practice here. But yeah, just we desire your prayers. Just it's going to be a lot of pressure, I think. We're not sure people's comfort levels yet. We're prepared. We just want to make sure that, everyone feels good about being there and that, we're able to make them feel better and stuff. So yeah, we just, as a salon, we'd like your prayers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, friends, will you join me in praying for Matthew and all of the salonists and barbers who are opening up in the next week? God, you know every hair on our head. You know every hair on our head. I've never even thought of how that relates to what we're talking about today until just this moment. You know us. You know the hairs better than Matthew does. And you know the hairs on Matthew's head. You know the hairs on all of his clients' heads. And you made every single one of them. And you care for each one of those hairs more than we could ever even imagine. We pray that through this reopening, that especially for Matthew, that this would be a ministry to people, a reconnecting with staff, a reconnecting with clients, that these would be moments of grace for folks. We thank you for Matthew's pastoral heart, his heart for his clients, his pastoral heart for the gay community, and especially for teenagers growing up who may not have a safe home that they're in right now. Pray for safety for those young men and women, and those young LGBTQI kids. Lord, give his team wisdom as they open back up about how to stay safe and how to be a means of grace in the lives of their clients. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus, in the power of your Spirit, and all who agreed said, Amen. Amen. Friends, would you join me in giving Matthew some love in the comments section and thanking God for him? We are grateful that he has had the time to join with us today. There are a couple things I want you to be aware of that are coming up. Our Daily Shelter is a midweek podcast. We're hosting live shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, usually at 3 p.m. I think next week is actually going to be our last week of season 2, and then we're going to go back to the drawing board and figure out what to do in the fall. We're going to take a month or two off in the summer and rethink through what we'll do with this in the fall. But in the meantime, you can watch these on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. While you're on our Facebook page, would you take some time to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel? And that way you will be up to speed on everything we're doing. Of course, race and racism is on all of our minds right now. And this Thursday, I continue a conversation about race with 3 other diverse pastors. We call it Perspectives. 1 Black pastor, 1 Puerto Rican, and 2 white guys talking about what's happening right now. The 4 of us have all met through congregations organizing for racial reconciliation. And we've been meeting monthly to talk about race since about 2017. And we decided to bring those conversations that have been private out into the public to reflect on race in America, race in Lansing, and race in our churches. So we want to invite you to come on Thursday. You'll find us on the Congregations Organizing for Racial Reconciliation page on Facebook at 8 p.m. This Sunday, I continue the second week of a 4-week online small group discussion on human sexuality using the book Holy Love, A Biblical Theology for Human Sexuality by Steve Harper. We meet from 7 to 8:30 p.m. At the sycamorecreekchurch.org/allchat. It's basically like our digital cafe that we'll meet in. We've been diving right in. We're on to chapter 2. So if you missed us last week, pick up the Kindle version of the book and read through chapter 2, and we will see you Sunday at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, we continue our daily shelter talking about being queer in quarantine, how to celebrate pride in a pandemic with Michaela Heffernan, as well as our very own Kay Sinclair. Michaela is on the executive board of the Salons Center, which is an LGBTQ resource and community center on Washington Square in Lansing. She also happens to work for State Representative John Cherry of the 39th District in Genesee County. Pride is, of course, the annual gathering to celebrate the LGBTQIA plus community. This year, because of the pandemic, Pride was canceled. So we're helping celebrate online a little bit tomorrow and getting a taste of what it's been like to be queer during quarantine. Right now, we all need to connect with something bigger than ourselves. We want to encourage you to connect with God and others at Sycamore Creek. You can do that by filling out our digital connection card, sycamorecreekchurch.org/connect. Don't shelter alone. Connect with God and others at Sycamore Creek. Friends, you've been watching Our Daily Shelter, a daily-ish live interactive video podcast and ministry of Sycamore Creek Church in Lansing, Michigan. In this time of sheltering in place, we think it's important to connect with the community. So find community every Sunday at 1 p.m. in a live interactive worship event at sycamorecreekchurch.org/slworship. That stands for South Lansing Worship. Or every Monday night in a church-wide video chat open to everyone at sycamorecreekchurch.org/allchat. You can connect with us and we can connect with you through our digital connection card found at sycamorecreekchurch.org/connect. Submit prayer requests here on this topic or really any topic, or by email at prayers@sycamorecreekchurch.org. We've got a team of people who are praying for you daily. Download and check out our app by searching for SCCMI in your app store, and you'll find lots of great resources there, including past and current sermons. You can also join the mission of Sycamore Creek by giving financially through the app or at our website, sycamorecreekchurch.org. Your generosity helps make resources like Our Daily Shelter available for free. Take a moment and like and follow us on Facebook and share this video with your friends so they can find daily shelter in God's grace too. You may be sheltering in place, but we're here to help you shelter in God's grace. Make your home a shelter of the Most High.